Don't mind me, I'm in my Luteal phase.
Welcome to the Luteal Phase Podcast. We're your hosts, Carmen Siu
and Misha Sabani. The Luteal Phase Podcast is an unfiltered pop culture podcast named after your most chaotic week. And Valentine's Day is coming up.
And we're on hedonic hamster wheels.
We are on hedonic hamster wheels. We are on month 2 of 2026. We just started it.
Crazy.
And it's been a lot. This year's been a lot. People are busy.
I feel like I've already lived like 400 lives.
Yeah, it's like winter in Chicago is usually really sleepy.
Yeah.
And this year feels like just summer all over again, except it's just January.
Why is everyone having a party?
Because we're in a recession and depressed.
Oh.
I can answer that question for you.
Okay, thank you. I just feel like I'm doing 400 things all the time. And every time I look at my phone, I get another Particle invite.
Yeah. And everyone's like celebrating their winter birthdays.
Yes.
Myself included.
For the first time.
I never celebrate my winter birthday, and I did this year. And
What
everyone else
do you
did too.
feel like was your mindset to actually do it? Because you kind of kicked us off.
I did kick off the year. Everyone, I'm the one who started all this.
She fucking did that shit.
And I slayed my birthday.
She did.
I don't know. Well, I was turning 35, which is like a big birthday. Milestone birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I kind of have to.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about like, we're all depressed and in a recession. Like that was maybe subconsciously. But like.
For sure.
I don't know. I actually had a shitty life. You know what? That's a lie. Because I had a bad year, 2025.
Right.
So I was like, I want to shake my ass and celebrate my birthday.
Period.
So that's a lie.
I think a lot of people had a bad year and now wants to shake their ass and like go out.
I'm trying to think of anyone who actually had a good year.
It was just hard.
And
honestly.
I don't think anyone really did. I think everyone felt like it was one of their hardest adult years. So we're out here on the hedonic hamster wheel.
It was Trump's first term, like first year of his second term.
First year of his second term.
And I think we all just like had reality set in as a result.
The world is extremely depressing.
Moment of silence.
Moment of silence. Well, you know what is not depressing? Valentine's Day, the holiday of love.
The holiday of love. And we have some hard truths to spill today.
We want to talk about love and dating and singleness and weddings and things.
All the things, and not in a stereotypical way, not in a TikTok fake therapy way. We want to like really get into it because there's a lot of false narratives out there.
Yeah.
And we thought, oh, we have a platform.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Let's use Misha's PhD.
Let's get the research out. Let's talk about dating.
Yes.
And things. Okay. But I think before we dive in, what's helpful is to talk about our backgrounds and messaging growing up around men, relationships, marriage, because we have really different messaging around it. So let's set the stage, right? Because our viewer, like we're going to say our opinions about it. So I think
but you need to get to know us a little bit.
Yeah.
See where we're coming from.
Because you don't know us at all.
You know. You've never met us.
Okay. So Carmen, kick us off.
Oh, I'm first. Okay.
Yeah.
So I grew up in a household of all girls. It was very female dominated. My mom was a very strong voice and influence for myself and my 2 younger sisters. And I think as the oldest, I really got the brunt of that in pros and cons ways, right? But in relation to love and dating, she was always like, you don't need a man. You're going to provide for yourself. Fuck a man.
But not in like a
sexual way. In a way of like, you will work your ass off in school and be an independent fucking woman, and you'll never need to rely on a man because a man brings you down. And that was just the messaging from a young age.
Yeah.
And it was always like literally no accolades around weddings or dating. Actually actively being like, you don't need to get married and dating will ruin your life. And if someone asks you to go to homecoming and be their date, you have to go back to school and say, actually, I can't go.
Yeah. Which is a true story.
So that was the messaging I grew up around. It was very like independent, badass bitch woman, go do your thing. You don't need a man, which is I find very ironic as someone who's been in a 10-year relationship and about to get married.
So, yeah, because it's like that's the upbringing. And then your relationship status today is?
Very committed.
Yeah.
In a relationship. Facebook would say in a relationship.
And she said, fuck guys, I am fucking a guy. A consistent one for a decade. She took it literally.
Yes, exactly. And it's why it's a mindfuck. We'll get there. But yeah, that was kind of the background, right? It was just they're annoying, they're stupid, they smell bad.
Which is all true.
My mom was right. And she was like, if you never get married, go off, queen.
Fine.
Literally, she would say that a million times. And she would be like, you don't need to date. I'd be happy if you dated a woman. She's saying all this shit. She was like, a man will ruin your life. That was the messaging in my house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is very atypical in that, especially in that time.
Extremely atypical.
Right.
But I didn't know at the time.
Right.
I was just like, men suck.
Yeah. You're like, okay, mom. I'm going to be valedictorian.
Yeah. I'm going to school now. Yeah. What about you? What was
So
what was
mine
it like for
was
you?
really similar, except for the fact that it was the opposite. So I grew up in the exact opposite household. Well, I grew up in this. It's weird. Like, so I grew up in a very traditional. Like, my parents are Muslim, Pakistani. So like, extremely wedding and marriage centered. That was actually very strong message from a very young age. Is that you shouldn't date. You should just get married. So I don't even know how it's possible. It's like dating is a sin, premarital sex sin.
Right.
But like, you need to get married very young because if you're around boys before marriage, it's a sin. So you should just marry them. Which just make sense.
I have questions.
I also have questions. So like, it's like extremely like marriage centered and like even just the messaging from not just my parents, but like extended family and cousins was like, oh, that poor girl. She's like in her late 20s and not married. Like it was very strong messaging.
Late 20s.
Yeah. Which we'll get to my current status in a second. But like, it was very much seen as a failure as a woman to not, as anyone, actually not just a woman, failure for anyone.
A man as well.
A man as well. That's where, there was equality there.
Yeah.
We're all failures.
That's just being an Asian
Yeah.
person.
So like very strong messaging.
Right.
Well, simultaneously, like education and like there was that as well. So it wasn't just like be married and like, you know, let your husband do everything, but it was kind of like, but at the same time, it was kind of what it was like, be educated, but the man is still going to lead the household. So like, imagine being an educated person and then be like, and now I'm going to get married and then just completely ignore the whole thing I worked for. So it doesn't make,
told me to do.
Yeah. It doesn't make, I still am trying to figure out.
The logic is not logic.
Yeah. I'm like, so what was I supposed to do? So it doesn't make any sense because there was a lot of dual messaging, but a very very traditional. I came from a very traditional background. And like my cousin, like, you know, everyone in my family, they're very traditional. Not my sisters, but like I saw that in my generation. My cousins. And
you're the youngest.
Yeah. Like my female cousins got married at 22 to Pakistani Muslim guys. So like I saw a lot of like.
Bride.
Oh, that is child bride.
22.
Yeah. Your brain is not fully developed yet. So now, what is my relationship status today? I'm 35 and single, which is like
a sin.
Crazy.
It's a sin.
It's a sin. It's crazy.
But you're living what my mom said is the dream.
I know, and I'm living my mom's nightmare.
Right.
So like my mom is like
irony.
Yeah.
The irony.
It is crazy. Like my mom had me on. It's called Shabi.com, which is like a brown person dating app since I was 18 years old against my will.
Right.
And so she like had me signed up and was like messaging men on my behalf and was like in college. And she was like, I had a boyfriend in college. And so like, and he would be like, it was white. He would be sitting next to me when my mom would forward me like, and we would all laugh. My roommates and my boyfriend would laugh at. We'd be like, "Oh, my mom sent another brown guy," and we'd all just look at the profile and laugh. It was crazy. Which is actually deeply traumatizing. But like, that was the messaging.
Do you feel like I'm curious in the percentage of like how much of your self-worth did your mom derive from like you being in a relationship and you being academically strong?
So
it sounds like it was a little both.
It was a little bit both, but it was much more heavily skewed towards marriage.
Okay.
Like success for my parents, it really was just like have a job and like have medical insurance. Like that's not a high.
Have
like,
a 401k.
Have a 401k. And honestly,
whatever.
Or whatever. Like your husband can also have a 401k. Like it was honestly just like have a 401k in like
in
your vicinity. Know a person with a 401k. But like in terms of
walk by anyone with a 401k.
Exactly. So like it was like just you yourself don't have to be financially successful. But but also at the same time my parents were like, but also like kind of don't be like unemployed. So it was like that.
There was never like push with doctor or engineer.
There was a push towards certain careers that were like, but like doctor, engineer, accountant, and because they're stable careers. But also the messaging is like you can do that part time when you have kids. Like that's also part of it.
Fascinating,
right? So it's like a lot of women choose those careers because. You don't
flexible
have flexible hours. And so like it was part of it was also familial planning as a woman who never wanted kids. Yeah. So
fascinating.
Yeah.
Very, very different.
Very different. and we literally ended up with the opposite.
I know.
Kind of here we are today.
Which is the most ironic. I mean, it's fascinating because I didn't realize at the time how radical my mom's upbringing for us was.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, men are horrible. Boys smell bad.
Yeah. And at that time, no one was saying, now everyone's saying that.
Right. This was like fucking 1993.
Yeah.
My mom has been preaching the same
We were
message.
all pick-me's, male-centered.
And Caroline was just out here being like, decenter men.
Yeah.
That's what she was saying in 1993. It's wild, especially like having two daughters. And I didn't grow up with like any extended family here.
Yeah.
So that was a huge difference as well between us. And I'm sure it would be completely different if I grew up with my extended family near me because I think my mom was just an anomaly.
Yeah.
And it always did shock me when I would have like white female roommates and their moms were very involved with their dating life. And I was like, interesting.
Yeah. Why are they pushing for this?
Like my mom never asks to this day. Sometimes I'm like, should I tell her stuff? But it's like.
Well, she's an Asian mom, so the answer is no. You're not supposed to confide in your Asian parents. That's rule number one.
You're so right.
Let's get into that's our background, and we obviously have really unique backgrounds because our parents are immigrants and had extremely like not necessarily Western experiences and views of things,
Western
right?
Experiences.
Which even though they were very different, like it's just a different world.
It is.
But like now, obviously, we are immersed in America, and we have friends. And they have relationship things. So we're at that weird age. Like when you're in your 30s, you have like I have friends that have 3 whole ass children. That's not, I literally, Sarah Bachnight, I'm talking to you. 3 whole ass children. And then there's people like me who are like, no one is texting me right now. I actively have no man in my life, 0. So like.
The spectrum is wild.
Yeah. And
I think that's really interesting because we go through so much of life, like high school, everyone's taking the same 10 classes and dealing with the same bullshit with high school boys. And then you go to college, similar curriculum, especially like within your school, you're all kind of doing the same thing. And then truly, once you graduate college, the paths begin to diverge.
Yeah, the timeline and milestones are different.
Whatever in the wood and nobody heard it and a tree fell.
And that period. That's the end of the episode, actually.
Whatever that is. But it is wild how things start to change because I think, and for me, my friend group, like there were a lot of weddings in the early 20s and then kind of a lull and then COVID chaos. And then now there's 400 weddings and again. And it's like, but you're right. I have some friends who have 2 kids already. And I'm like, at our young age?
Yeah, at our young age. Well, and I think it's like because everyone is experiencing such different things, like there's such a spectrum of what we hear as women around dating, around marriage, around having kids.
Relationships.
Right. And then it's like, and then move that to like the modern woman where it's like, but you should be really self-sufficient. But where's your boyfriend? And you're like, you're hearing a lot of mixed messaging, right? Like be an independent woman, but also your wedding is the best day of your life and the only important thing that will ever happen to you. And also you should love yourself, but also don't eat for your wedding. So like there's so much weird messaging around all of this. And that's why we want to talk about it. That's what all of this is about.
Yes.
So I think the first thing we should talk about is this concept. We talked about the pick-me era. We talk about the pick-me era actually in every episode.
We do.
Pick-me's come up a lot.
Because, I mean, it wasn't like 2016 is a year, the pick-me, right? It was like the whole thing.
We grew up in the era of pick-me. It was the whole era.
It was decades of pick-meism.
So now
pick-meism was running rampant.
And we were all First of all, if you said you're not a pick me, that's the
Correct.
most pick me thing ever.
Period.
We were all pick
We
me.
were all pick me's because that's what you were. That's the default.
That's what you were.
That's the default.
If you're a woman, you're a pick me.
Yeah.
So now what we've moved and transitioned the language, but unfortunately, I think the pick me era is alive and well. and what we're calling it now is being a male-centered woman.
Yes. The language has shifted.
And yeah, we're gonna shit on the male-centeredness because we have our PhDs in hating men.
Uh-huh.
But also, I think there's like the messaging for women is tough. So we're gonna show a little bit of empathy for the male-centered women, but we're also gonna call it out.
Only like this much.
We're gonna call it out.
We're doing hard truths. This is hard truths about love and dating episode.
Yeah, hard truths.
We're gonna drop some hard truths. It may make you uncomfortable, and you better keep your AirPods in your ears.
So let's talk. Okay, so when you hear let's define what we mean by
Yes,
male-centered woman. Because in the pick me era, it was very obvious. It was like I like football and
Star Wars.
burgers. Star
Not
Wars.
the burgers catching a fucking stray. Damn.
I still like burgers, but like it was that, right? It was really in your face.
Yes. It was like, I don't wear makeup and only lip gloss.
Yeah.
And like, why are you taking so long to do your makeup?
Yeah, and like I think girls are smart enough to know that that's just too
Annoying.
overt and annoying. Now I think this has transitioned a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little more subtle.
A little more subtle. So let's give some examples of what male-centered behavior looks like.
Oh, okay. Well, let's start with toxic. It's like when you're out and your friend says, "Oh, he's cute," and then your friend goes and hooks up with him immediately in front of you.
And which that's happened to every one of us.
Yeah.
That's happened to every one of us.
It sounds insane, except it's extremely common.
Yeah.
So noodle on that one.
Yeah. And I think, okay, so that's the more overt talk, like the
Yes.
extreme version of male-centered.
Yes.
I think the more subtle version of it could be like, I'll use it as a single girl example. When you're single, you like always want to go out. You're always like with the girlies. And then the minute that girly finds a boy, finds like a partner,
Right.
all of a sudden that bitch disappeared. That's some male-centered
I
bullshit.
hate that
and I
shit.
think that for me is the most common form of
It's extremely
male-centeredness.
common.
Yeah, of like you basically it's like your entire life is revolved around finding a guy. Like my hobbies are about where am I going to meet my person? All my friendships are in pursuit of me being able to go out to meet someone. And then I'm good to drop all of it when I hit my goal of finding the guy.
And then I'm just gonna like sit. What is happening when you're with that man that makes you so willing to just be in your house? Because that to me is the $1 million question. I'm like,
Because we're allergic to boring.
Yeah.
So I think this is something we struggle to understand.
yes, exactly. We're on hedonic hamster wheels,
Yeah.
and it's not good. But
Yeah,
it's better.
we're an extreme that needs to work. We need work. That's a different episode though.
But it's just like it sounds boring.
Yeah, like the end destination of just like having a man with a pulse next to you that's not doing anything.
Like, what are we doing, women? Like, I really would like to know, because as someone who's lived with a man for half a decade, is it just watching football near him?
I don't know. As someone who's chronically single, I literally don't know what it's like to have a man
But
in my
I'm
house.
just like thinking of the most boring parts of my life, and
Yeah.
it's just that every day.
Yeah. And so
What?
I was in a on and off 6 to 7 year relationship. So I do know I know what it's like to get out of the honeymoon phase.
Right.
And have someone just integrated into your, like very
Yeah.
integrated into your life. That's
Yeah.
years of a relationship.
Uh-huh.
That shit gets boring.
That's what I'm saying.
That shit was boring. I mean, like,
That's what I'm saying.
but we were never like house potatoes. We were never sitting in the house. Like just, I think it's couch potato, but I just thought
No,
house
I
potato
think house potatoes
sounded
is
good.
what it is, because it's like because all I can picture is you're just being house potatoes.
You turn into a potato.
I'm just like, are you just watching Netflix together
Yeah.
forever every single day?
And also like,
What?
what are you talking about with a boy? Boys don't talk about their feelings. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and also if you're with each other constantly, how do you have anything to talk about? Because you did the activity together.
Yeah.
I'm like really confused about that.
I also
and
just can't picture talking to a boy for that long.
there comes a point. It's like, but it's also like if you are together 24/7, what are you talking about at dinner? Because this is one of my like worst fears, is to be one of those couples that goes out to dinner and they're silent.
That's actually also a huge fear of mine.
It's been my fear since forever, my whole life.
Write in the comments if that's your fear, because I didn't know if that was a
Or your love. Do you love that?
I love having nothing to talk about.
Because you see those fucking couples everywhere. They're just staring like this. No, they're not making eye contact.
No,
actually.
and they're saying something like exceptionally boring. Like, the steak was good.
No, they're not even saying that.
No, they're not. I'm sorry. They're not saying that. That was a lie.
Hit my tooth on the microphone.
No, you should hate your tooth.
That's more interesting than anything that's happening at their dinners. But genuinely, I'm like, what? And we were trying to, as yesterday, we were like prepping for this episode and really dissecting it. And we came to a few foundational conclusions.
Let's talk about it.
They all have to do with being a male-centered woman.
Yes.
And one of the theories that we came up with is that women aren't thinking. And the reason they aren't thinking is because they're not eating.
We need to talk about women not eating that much. As two women who eat a lot.
Yes.
I
love food.
I find it deeply annoying when women don't eat. We should all find that. That's pick me a girl era, right?
It is.
Like the girls that don't eat on dates. What are you doing? This is 2026. We're okay with eating now, I think.
I think we're just you and I.
I think
we're in a very unique subset where when the two of us are hanging out,
we're eating a lot.
We're eating.
There's women. Yeah, I think it's sad because I understand the pressure around
absolutely
body.
I mean, we are women in this world. We have body image issues.
If you grew up in the era we grew up, everyone has had body issues.
Yes, absolutely. And we have empathy for that. Remember, we said we're gonna have empathy.
Only
this much.
Only that. Yeah, we have empathy for this. We really do.
We do.
But girl,
starting.
And the reason I want to bring us actually like why we're talking about this. Actually, I want to make this clear for people.
Make it clear, Dr. Subani, please.
Okay, so it's like women are obviously like wanting to fit a certain mold or want to aesthetically appear a certain way.
Right.
And I think being thin is a clear whatever.
Yeah,
so they're not
absolutely.
eating. Part of that also manifests in like then they become sleepyheads because they're not. There's no energy. There's no energy. So you become a sleepyhead, and then you stay in your house with your partner. So it's like, okay, I found my boyfriend. I can ditch my hobbies and my friends.
And then you just like think sitting on your couch watching Netflix is like all you can do with your life. Because you're hungry and your brain's not being fueled. And then you're not like thinking about every angle and analyzing it from every angle. You're just like okay with the passivity of your life.
The complacency.
Complacent, passiveness.
I need you
boring.
I need you to eat. I need you to have boundaries. I need you to be a bitch. I need you to go out on the streets and shake your ass. Like
all of these things require food. Basics. Is it Maslow? Whatever his name is.
Yeah. He has a hierarchy of needs. Food is the foundation.
Food is foundational. And I think about this a lot, especially with the two of us. We are two women who are doing a lot all the time. And we are high energy bitches.
We are doing shit constantly. And yes, we are extroverts. So like that's going to help. But I just think on us, on standard deviations of like how high energy we are extremely high energy. Yeah.
So I'm constantly asking the question, like, why are we able to do this?
Yeah.
Because my mom is this way. I know your whole family is similar.
Yeah.
My grandma, like everyone in my family is a high energy bitch.
Yeah.
So like what's going on? And I feel like what's boiled down to is like we eat a lot. And so our brains are fueled.
Yeah.
And we're eating protein. We're not doing girl dinners.
No.
I'm not ever doing a girl dinner.
I don't believe in girl dinner.
I need crackers.
I need all the food groups on my plate.
I need a rainbow of colors.
I need a rainbow. I need protein. I need fiber. I need fats.
Exactly.
The trifecta.
Yeah.
The Holy Trinity needs to be on the plate.
And I think women are just eating the saddest salads ever for lunch. They're skipping breakfast.
Yeah.
Drinking maybe a cup of black coffee and then
which spikes your cortisol. Empty stomach coffee.
Oh my God.
Fucking stop that immediately.
If you're ever like, why does my tummy hurt? Check in on if you're drinking black coffee on an empty stomach.
On an empty stomach. Fucking stop that shit.
Really bad for you.
I think for me as a wellness girly, the not eating thing is like the eating very little, eating bird bites really annoys me.
Right.
Because I'm like,
that's not even what you're supposed to
You're
be
not
doing.
even supposed look, first of all, I don't think thinness should ever be the goal. I think healthy, strong should be the goal. But let's say thinness is the goal. Starving yourself is actually the dumbest way to do it. It's actually, you're slowing down your metabolism. Yeah. You're not going to be able to put on muscle, which muscle speeds up your metabolism. The bird bites are annoying.
But I think a lot more women are doing that. And especially in this age of Ozempic, which is like, it's just changing brain chemistry.
It is.
And I think it's not a fad. I think everyone's doing it.
A lot of people are doing it. And this goes back, like, when it's put out in the world.
Right.
We as women feel enormous pressure. So this is where my empathy hat comes on. I understand where this is a tough love conversation.
Right. Exactly. This is hard truths. We're not sugarcoating.
You need to eat, you need energy, and you need that energy so like you can use your brain to resist boring men. That's
mic drop.
That's what this was.
Fucking mic drop, because if you're really hungry and your brain isn't being fueled, you're not going to have like brain energy to analyze your situation. And if you've just been inundated with the propaganda that you should be with a man, I think that's all you're thinking about.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, you're not even like, you don't have the brain energy to separate yourself from sitting on the couch with your boring man who smells bad.
They all smell bad.
And think to yourself, does this make me happy? Because you've been told that makes you happy, period. No more outside thoughts.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. That's what happiness looks like. And I do want to get into a little bit of the stats. Yes.
I've done some research.
She's done some research.
So that begs the question.
Yes.
Like, there's married people.
Yes.
There's single people. And we now know the trends of dating, where like, of marriage, where people are prolonging marriage, people are especially now that women. So like, are people happier when they're married? What do we think?
Let's find out.
What does the research say? Okay. So in all, this is what's kind of interesting about the research is that it's not that interesting in the sense that it's obvious, but I want to talk about a nuance in it. So in general, there's a couple of studies that I want to cite. So there's multiple studies that are done on this. Who has higher life satisfaction? People who are single versus people who are married. And they've done cross-cultural studies. There was a study with 20,000 people in New Zealand, a study with 77,000 people in Europe. Like, there's tons of studies on it. Almost like every study says the same thing. People who are coupled have higher degrees of life satisfaction. So people sitting on their couch crying, wanting to have a boyfriend, there's some validity to it. Right? There's validity to it. Right. People who are in a healthy relationship are happier. The nuance is obviously, that's assuming your relationship is happy. There's also a lot of studies on negative relationships. And it is far better for your physical health and your overall like mental health to be single over being in a negative relationship, which should seem obvious. However, this probably leads us into our next segment where we want to talk about what it's like, the realities of being a single woman.
Absolutely.
Right? Where like the studies are kind of showing that like, I think it's obvious why I don't think we need to talk about why people want to be in relationships. I think it's clear.
Yeah.
But I think as the messaging around singleness is like, I'm the single one that didn't get chosen and all these other people found their life partners and I'm the one that just I'm losing. I'm left out. There's something wrong with me. And what we don't ever want to acknowledge as single people is the reality that most people's relationships fucking suck. And we need to talk about that more as single people.
I agree. I think there's like people in relationships are put on such a pedestal. And then sometimes actually we kind of get boxed out of the conversation because then I'm like, you're already like putting me on a pedestal. I don't feel like I can tell you the realities of my relationship.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to be like, well, you're in a relationship. And it's like, no, that's not the fucking golden ticket, actually. Because it's not. We're just people interacting with people.
Yeah. No, I think that's totally fair. Well, and I want to tell you about, I told you about this, but I'm going to tell the viewers. I'm on Single Girl TikTok.
Yep.
Right? Like I see, and there's some great content and then some super toxic content. I want to talk about a video that stood out to me that I think resonated with a lot of single people, but I really did not like.
I was hoping you'd bring this up.
Okay. The entire episode came from this TikTok. Yeah. Like, this is why we did this whole episode. So there was a girl on TikTok that was like, people, like single people, like she was basically making an analogy saying, being single is like going to dinner with all your friends and everyone else got their food and you basically are the only one at the table and you didn't get your food served. Which on a surface level, you're like, okay, that superficially makes sense because you didn't get something that everyone else had. But it's such an oversimplification. I was actually really annoyed at this. It's such an oversimplification. First of all, if we're talking reality, okay, let's say you're at dinner with 10 of your friends, and, you know, and all 10 of them are in relationships. You're the only single one. Mm-hmm. Let's keep in mind, half of the dinner they got served is fucking rotten. And what I mean by that is like, it's not like everyone else has these lavish, great relationships and you're just starving in the corner. It's like some people have shitty relationships and they got served disgusting food and they're going to have diarrhea tonight and you just maybe didn't get your dinner. That's worse. Second of all, I'm sorry, why are you sitting there starving?
Yeah.
What the real analogy is like you went to dinner with your friends. Some people got served they ordered food. Mm-hmm. They ordered the chicken and they got the chicken. Mm-hmm. Maybe you tried ordering the chicken and the waiter's like, I'm so sorry we ran out of chicken. But there's a whole ass other fucking menu.
Yeah.
And the menu is other life experiences. Oof. Other life experiences are on the menu.
Yes.
You can choose to be like, I want the chicken and the chicken only. So I will sit here and starve and watch all my friends eat the chicken. This goes back to not starving. As someone who doesn't like to starve, order something else off the menu. Order the steak. Order something. Yes. Like have the other life experiences. Right. And look, I'm not saying you're not allowed to have any sort of feeling about being single. We all have single sadness. Mm-hmm. I have it. We all have it. And I'm not saying you should ignore it. But I think that like the fact that there's content out there, and this got like hundreds of thousands of likes, people are restitching it galore. And I'm like ruminating over that and like having that be your messaging around singleness. I just can't imagine it's helping you get into a better headspace about it. And that's what annoyed me about it. Mm-hmm. Is I'm like, this isn't helping.
No. And I think that a lot of single girl messaging is that, right?
There is a lot
unfortunately.
Of that. There's a lot of like grief messaging. And again, I'm not saying you should be toxic positive about it. Look, we all cry about being single. And I think we should be open about it and there's no shame around it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I think consuming and ruminating about the sadness. Spiral. It's really not
helpful.
It's not helpful at all.
It's not constructive.
It's not constructive. Mm-hmm. And there also is studies on rumination. Mm-hmm. And
tell us about it.
I mean, look, there are studies on this. And okay, so basically there's a ton of research on this concept it's called co-rumination. Mm-hmm. And so basically it's like rumination is when you sit and think about a problem. And instead of constructively taking actions to try to solve it, you just kind of sit in the negative feeling. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of single girl content on like social media is about like letting yourself feel sad. Which yes, 100% you should sit with your feelings. I'm not saying you should avoid your feelings.
Right.
But when you do it for too long, it's called rumination. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of research on rumination being linked to anxiety and depression. Mm. So you need to have a window. And then after that, it's like you can't sit and dwell on your singleness because it's not going to change your status. Mm-hmm. And so I do think there's a lot of messaging around like embracing kind of the grief around singleness and to kind of sit with it. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I don't think
maybe just like go do something different.
Go do something different. And I think, and this is where I think that, like this kind of bleeds into like therapy speak, where like this is the toxic side of therapy, where it's like, well, I'm sitting with my feet, right? There's kind of a way to make a positive spin on it.
Right.
The research is there. Like people, and there's actually research linked to people in therapy that ruminate, and and like people who go to therapy and ruminate on the same problem, they have higher rates of anxiety and depression. It's the research is there. So it's like, stop fucking doing that. You can be sad about it and cry about it once in a while, but you got to move on.
Yeah.
And live your life.
You can't be stagnant waiting for the stinky man in your life. That's crazy.
Stop waiting for stinky men. That's the tagline.
Even the good ones are stinky. So like you're pausing your entire life. Like you're not, making a life for yourself, making your home beautiful, cooking yourself great meals, hanging out with your best friends, doing your hobbies, moving on, like reading interesting books. Like, yeah. Life doesn't stop because you meet your
life doesn't
partner.
Stop. And here's what I'll say. Like, and I want to get into a little bit of like why does that type of like, why are women, or people, I shouldn't say women, why are people ruminating about being single? Well, in fairness, I'm going to share the other side of this. There is a lot of toxic messaging towards singleness, right? Like a lot of people will, like, it's one of the first things people ask me is, what's your relationship status? Are you dating anyone? What's your update on dating? So when that's the only fucking question you get, you're going to ruminate about being single. So in fairness to single people, it's not coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? It's like people are constantly kind of asking you about that. So I do think there's like that kind of end of the spectrum too.
Totally. My 2 cents on that is that I think there's just like obsession with relationships.
Yeah.
Because as someone who feels extremely not defined by my relationship, I get asked about my relationship so much more than I ever want to be.
Yeah.
Like I always say my relationship is the least interesting thing about me.
Yeah.
Like ask me about my fucking podcast. I would love to talk about my podcast 10x more than I get asked about it, and I get asked about my relationship 10x more than I want to talk about it. Like, I think there's like this weird obsession in our society, I think especially with women. Like the common thread when you don't know someone is, so are you seeing anyone?
Yeah.
Blah, 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 talk to my partner. And then if they find out you're dating someone, you're like, how'd you meet? And I'm like, it's not an interesting story.
Who cares? Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
I'm like, sure, I'll take out the horse and pony show every once in a while and tell it, whatever. But it happened 10 years ago. So like I was a really different person back then. Lots happened. So I think there's just this like default conversation, small talk with women. And I think it's male to women and women to women. Like it's not just coming from women. I think men do it to women as well. Of like asking about your love life. And I understand a little bit because it's like, what else? The default is like, what else? And then the other one's like, what's your job? And it's like, okay, well, I understand relationships and jobs are a big part of people's lives. So I understand why you go in those directions.
Yeah.
So for a stranger, whatever, give them mostly a pass. But if it's like someone that's in your circle of life.
Yeah.
I think there's just other things we can ask people about.
Yeah. So I think it's like it's put relationships and your status is just like it's such
centering men.
It's
not perhaps.
It's such I mean, it's kind of forced on you. Yes. So then of course you're gonna by default make it a big deal.
Right.
And then watch sad girl TikToks and then cry about being single. Like it all makes sense.
We live in a patriarchal society.
Right.
That's why men are centered.
The end.
The end. Men are being centered. That's why other women are asking about the men in any context. Yeah. Whether single or not. Mm-hmm. Like centering men. And as an extremely decentered woman, it grates me because I'm like asking about anything else.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about my relationship.
Well, okay. And I also want to talk about my year last year. I'm someone who like, I just like, I want a relationship, but it's not a focal point. I have other things going on in my life, but it's something that is important to me, right? Like finding someone. So last year I was like, I want to make a more concerted effort to date. Cause I think part of the messaging that we tell single people is like, well, you need to put in an effort, which what the fuck does that mean? What that means is like, go on dating apps, like dedicate your life to finding a man. Like that's kind of what that messaging is. Right. So like, that's what I did. I was like, okay, I feel guilty. I'm not trying. So I should go focus more on finding a guy, swiping on dating apps, going on dates, even if I don't like the guy that much, because that's how I'm going to meet someone. The worst fucking, and this is, so it's like I had taken a break from dating for several years. And in that time I did a lot of healing and introspection. So this is the first time I was like fully back on the dating scene as like a much more mature, healed person. Even with the amount of wisdom I have, it was fucking terrible. Dating was extremely exhausting. I felt so negative towards relationships. There's no way to not take it personally. Like, I was like, wait a second. So like swiping on dating apps and like we're telling people that this is what they should be doing, but it objectively feels very shitty. And then I'm like, so of course, like part of me is also like, that's part of, I think the sad girl single thing that's happening is like, we kind of force single people to date and like try to date and put in all this effort. It kind of ends up going nowhere because it's not something you can force. You can't really force the timeline. So then it's like all my energy went into this thing that had very little output and very little enjoyment. So of course I didn't really enjoy my year that much. And there's other reasons I didn't enjoy my year that much, but dating was a big reason I did not enjoy last year. So I was like, I don't want to try that much anymore. Like if I meet someone naturally, that's how I'll meet them. But like dating, going on app, I'm not doing the app thing. I just think like putting your energy towards dating is actually just a negative experience. And I think that's true for a lot of people in modern dating. It's so negative. But then we also want to push people into feeling like they're supposed to be doing that. And I'm like, there's no way to feel, I don't know anyone that's out there trying to meet someone and swiping on apps and feeling good about it. Everyone has horrible fucking stories to share.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds bad.
It's a lot.
I think that one nugget I really liked hearing you talk about is like, you know, that pressure and can't force the timeline. Because that leads me to, I think what we see a lot is women seeing the number 30 come their way. And Shannon said this today in one of our group texts, and it was so funny. She was like, women play musical chairs when they see the number 30 approach them in their life. And they're like, oh, well, this is the man.
Yeah.
I sat my ass down in this chair, and I'm 30, and I'm getting married, and it's him.
And men fucking do it. I actually think men do it more than women do it.
Oh, everyone's doing this.
Everyone's doing this.
And it's just such a stupid way to live life. Because it's like, you're making one of the biggest life decisions you will ever make to legally attach yourself to some random person. And you did it because of an artificial timeline.
Well, this is also why we see so many boring couples and like toxic couples, because that's what it was like. I'm ready and you're sitting right here and you like,
and we're eating a silent dinner together.
Yeah. And you like hit the basic checklist of the things I think I want. The end. Let's get married. Let's do this. You breathe.
That's it.
I like your hair.
No, they are losing hair, Misha.
You're the girl in this situation.
The men are losing hair. No. Oh, I'm the girl. Okay, I have hair. Got it. It took me a minute.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's so sad to witness because I hate artificial timelines. It feels like bullshit. Like, oh, you are 30 and I need to get married. Why?
Well, and it's like and imagine you don't hit the fake timeline. Right? It's like,
you failed.
How much would that hit your confidence to be like, well, I did it wrong. And it's like, did what wrong? Also,
we're on a floating rock.
Nothing's
real.
Nothing is real. And also, it's like, so then when you're someone who doesn't hit the time, doesn't hit the fake milestone of I'm 3-0 and I don't have a partner.
Right.
All the other assholes that hit that want to start giving you annoying fucking advice. That's the other experience about being single is like, you have people that are like, well, have you tried insert something stupid? And you're like,
like what?
It's like, okay, well, obviously it's like the have you tried on like dating apps? And you're like,
of course.
It's 2026. Like, you don't think I know what a dating app is? Or it's things. The question I hate is like, well, what are you looking for in someone? Which I think is just like I'm going to list generic things. I want a guy who's smart and funny. I think it's just a generic question that like results in a generic answer. And I want someone who's ugly and mean to me. Like, what do you think I want? So like, it's an annoying question.
I'm looking for a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Do you have any friends that are dinosaurs?
And then people, well, and bless their hearts, they're trying, will like set you up. They'll be like, I know someone. You're like, okay, like explain them to me. Like, and the thought process is like, oh, well, they're single. And you're like, so there's no logical reason we would be a good match. Like, oh, he likes this, and this is why I think you would be compatible. It's like, well, he's alive and desperate, and so are you. Like, that's annoying. So it's like, that's my rant over.
What do you feel, if you could, like, change people's behavior towards single people, how would you advise?
Stop asking me about it.
Yeah.
Stop asking me. Like, like you say, like my relationship.
Interesting thing about you.
Yeah. I'm like, ask me about
the podcast.
Ask me about the podcast. Like, I have a bajillion friends. Right. I'm doing a million things all the time.
Hedonic hamster wheel.
The hedonic hamster wheel. Like, the ugly guy I went on a date with in October is like the least interesting thing about me. I don't even remember his name. Like, stop asking.
Totally. I think that's like the commonality, right? Like, regardless of relationship status, relationships are not that interesting if you're a woman who is an interesting person.
Yeah.
I think that if you're kind of basic and you've got nothing else going on and that's the only fucking thing you can talk about, then that's why you're talking about it. However, that's not us. Yeah. And that's not a lot of our friends either. Yeah. Like, the circles that we're in, and I have to assume, broader than that, people maybe even on surface level, I'm like not giving these people credit. Maybe I'm defaulting asking about the relationship because I think they're boring, but I'm sure there's more going on, right? And I should take my own advice.
Yeah.
and ask. It's just,
We all do it.
it's just easy, right? Like,
Yeah.
well, how are the kids? Blah, blah, blah. But it's like also, I'm sure when I become a parent, if that happens, like I'll be annoyed when people only ask me about my kids, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be like, that's not me. That's
Yeah.
a fucking other human alien.
Yeah.
It's just like the decentering. I think it's really interesting, this concept. We started talking about like that's like the modern day pick me is decentering men, but I'm realizing we just need to decenter men in all aspects of life.
100%. I want to talk a little bit about, because you kind of grew up with this decenter men messaging.
Yeah.
I want to talk about my journey because I did not grow up with that messaging. And I feel like, I mean, part of my decentering is just the act of dating men will make you hate them. And so like, I just decenter them by virtue of like, I've had a bad experience. But I want to talk about like, there was a time in therapy like several years back that I think was very life-changing that I want to talk about in terms of like, what is the process in which you could decenter?
Love.
And for me, let's take us back to pre-COVID.
Whoa.
BC, before COVID, 2019. And
Damn.
I was, I had a situation with this extraordinarily mid guy, as we all do. As we all do.
That doesn't happen very often.
I've never met a mid guy in my life. And there was unrequited love, and he didn't want to commit to me.
Right,
like tales all this time.
Right.
Okay, so this happened to me. It happened to everyone that's listening. And I was like heartbroken, gutted. I like literally died and came back to life and then died again. It was like one of the most just intense emotional experiences. So I went back to therapy, and at the time, my therapist said this to me. She was like, well, what do you think? She's like, obviously people want romantic partnership. That's a normal human desire. But she's like, what do you think romantic partnership and this person in particular was providing for you? What feeling was this person giving you?
Love that.
And I was digging really deep where I was like, well, I want romantic partnership. And she's like, don't give the generic answer. Like everyone wants that. Right. And at that time in my life, like this was a time in my life where I felt much more insecure about my intelligence, my career, and my ability to like really make it. Where I was like, okay, like I had a massive imposter syndrome. So I was like, I've made it for now, but like they'll find out next week I'm a fraud. Right. So I didn't feel a lot of
fascinating. I don't know this about you.
Yeah.
This is very pre our friendship.
It's very pre our friendship. So I felt a lot of imposter syndrome in my career, which led to like my financial stability felt like it could be taken away from me at any point because right, career financial stability is tied. And so I was like, well, I feel like partnership and like this, and I tend to select very intelligent men who are successful. So I'm like, well, this guy, if I select a guy who's really stable and makes good career choices, like that would bring me stability where like I could have the life I want. And like that is something, that's one of the reasons I want partnership. And so she's like, well, what are ways that you could give yourself that feeling, right? Like in the absence of a guy, like how do you start to feel stability and security? Because you can control that, right? You can't control when the guy comes, but you can control the feeling that you think that person or thing is going to provide you, which I think this logic can be applied to everything in life, right? Like what is the thing you want and what do you think that thing is, what feeling do you think that thing is going to give you? And how do you chase that feeling instead of the external thing that you can't really control? So then, I think at the time that was too much for my brain and I exploded and I like never thought about it again. But I think naturally I started to just do that by virtue of continuing to be single is like, well, how do I start to feel more comfortable in my career and put myself in situations where I feel more confident and comfortable? And then I start to feel more financially secure. And then over time, like I just started to feel that way. And now I think like, although I still want partnership, the need, like it was like life or death when the breakups would happen. Cause you're like, that was my security. Right. And so it feels very intense.
That's such an interesting window into that mindset. Cause I'm sure that's shared by a lot of women.
It's shared by everybody. And I would actually go as far as to say, my example is romantic relationships, but you could take that logic and if there's anything that you are yearning for in life, you could apply that logic to that thing and be like, well, what is that? What do you think that thing's going to give you?
Yeah. It's interesting because I've never felt that way about a man.
Yeah.
I've never been like, he's going to give me stability.
Well, you weren't taught that.
Right. That's
you
why
really
I'm like thinking about it. I'm like tying it back to like my mom's teachings of, like they're going to ruin your life actually.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating, but I do think that that's probably a lot of women
Yeah.
tie that. And it's, I mean, that was the world for
Yeah.
all of our generations.
Financial
We're
stability.
the first generation not to have that. Like, women now are so much more financially independent. We can have credit cards. Like, our moms couldn't have credit cards
Crazy.
like, for most of their lives. So I think that actually gives me a lot of empathy for women who are trying to just settle down and see the clock ticking. And we didn't even touch on like children and like that biological clock. And like that is a big pressure for a lot of women, you know, like, oh, I think there's this window of something I want, and it's closing. Even though modern medicine says that the window's much bigger than people think.
That's a whole other thing. Geriatric pregnancy in your 30s.
Yes.
Get out of here.
Yes. Anyway, I love to hear your story because I think it provides for me a lot of empathy for the mindset. Because I think that for me, I'm just dismissive, and I'm like, why would someone want that?
Yeah.
They smell
and
bad.
I'm not dismissive of it because I understand, like, having grown up with that mindset, like, I'm not dismissive of it. Where I do what I do think though is like sitting and ruminating in it is not going to help you. And I tell that story because like the solution was not within the problem. Like, I didn't solve the heartbreak by just finding another guy, or like I'm still just as single now as I was then. But like, so much else in my life has changed.
Yes, because the way you described yourself, I'm like, that's not the person
that?
I know.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I got a PhD since then.
She has a PhD.
I bought a house since then.
Boss-ass bitch.
Yeah.
Like, so many things going for her, but never think of you as pathetic.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
Like, there's or someone who has imposter syndrome, or like
No.
I feel like you have like unshakable confidence.
Yeah, and I do now.
Right.
Because part of it, and this is also, it's like, I fucking did everything on my own. Like, I earned it. So that's where the confidence comes from, is like, I know where my starting point was, and I know all the things I've accomplished, and I did that for myself. And so like, now I look back and I'm like, my desire for partnership, although still exists, is I have a very different relationship with it.
That's so fascinating.
It is deeply fascinating.
I mean, I think
human psyche.
The human psyche, and I think also people's journeys.
Yeah.
Some people go on a journey like this.
Yeah.
And do it young. Some people do it in their 60s.
Some people have to get divorced, and
some people never do this journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think like it's just interesting. Like, it kind of ties back to what we were saying at the beginning. Is like, most of life up to like probably 22 we're all on the exact same path. And you go through the same shit, and you're doing the same 4 extracurriculars, whatever. And then life really just goes on 400 different paths.
Yeah.
And people's journeys and their acceleration in the journey can be very slow or fast.
And it almost never goes the way you planned, right? Like, you always think your milestone. Like, it's funny because because I grew up with the messaging I did, I was like such a hopeless romantic growing up. I used to read like romance novels. I'm an Enneagram 4, so we're the romantics of the Enneagram. And I would grow up like reading romance novels. Like,
That's so common.
I know. Like, I'm like, I want to believe love is the real.
Yes.
Like, I'm deep down like a lover girl to my core. So, I mean, but like, yeah. So I think it's just, and I never thought I'd be 35 and single. So I always knew I never wanted kids. I knew that really young, but I always was like, but I definitely want to find my soulmate. So like 35 and single.
Do you think that a soulmate is a real thing?
Do I think there's like one person out there for you? Yeah, I do.
I'm just curious.
I actually do. I very much believe in like the universe has like, I very much believe in like fate, and that the universe has like perfect timing that is perfectly aligned for you. And there's like experiences that you are meant to have in this life, whether that's the person, you know, the romantic part or whatever. Like, I do think that. I do believe in like, I believe in soulmates. I believe in twin flames. I believe in all that. I believe in all that.
It's so funny because I don't believe in any of that.
I know. I actually believe in all of it. Now the question becomes, do I believe everyone's destined to meet it in their life? I don't know. I don't know.
When you say soulmate, so that you think there's like somebody at some point in the many lives that is.
Yeah. So here's how I delineate it, like
a
twin flame versus a soulmate.
Sure.
So
I don't know what a twin flame is.
So a soulmate is like, my belief is in like, you have like people that you feel very connected to. And I actually think soulmates can be platonic. I don't think soulmates actually has to be a romantic thing. That's like I think soulmates, we commonly just use it as a romantic thing.
Yep.
But I actually believe soulmates can be anyone your soul feels connected to. And like my belief is that we knew them in past lives, and that's why we feel just very connected to certain people right away when we meet them. That to me is how I define a soulmate. Twin flame is like your truest like partner. And I think that in every life you have like one soul that you connect to. And I think you can have twin flame like experiences, but they're very intense romantic partners. And so twin flames can have, you know, you can have an experience with a romantic partner in this life. And sometimes you don't end up with your twin flame actually. But I think it's like it's a partner or like a soul connection you meet in this life to like, and you learn something very intense from that person. So I don't think a twin flame is actually someone you end up marrying necessarily and staying with forever. But I think every soul has like a counter soul.
Whoa.
That you like connect with in every life.
This is like calculus.
I know. I have a lot. Well, I could have a whole podcast episode of what I believe of like past lives and like what I think happens in this life. But that's my spiritual belief.
Yeah. That's so interesting. I feel like we should do the realities of being an almost married woman. So we did realities of being a single woman.
Yeah.
It's just it feels like such a mind fuck in many ways because it's like, you know, as someone who was not raised to prioritize marriage or men or dating or relationships, I find myself like so perplexed when I'm in this situation.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, I'm getting married. That's something that happens to like other people.
Yeah.
Or old people. I really associate it with old people.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, my parents were married.
I also still think we're 18. So like,
yeah, that's a big part of it. I'm like, that's what old people do.
Yeah.
That's not what I do. I'm 12.
I'm a minor.
I'm having my first preteen relationship. I hope my mom gives me allowance money for the movies.
Yeah.
So that has just been interesting. And I didn't expect to feel so much of that emotion. And I think that there's been so many like points along this journey that I thought I was supposed to be feeling one way. It was so much more complex and nuanced, which I think is just the human experience.
Yeah.
But the way we message it, especially to millennial women, that's, you know, the experience I can talk towards. Like, you know, getting engaged is so like, you know, fireworks and happiness and like, yay, you're engaged. And it's like, I felt that, but I also felt a lot of other feelings along with it. And then planning a wedding, I think naively, I was like, oh, it's going to be so much fun. I get to pick flowers and colors. And I am doing those things. And there's also a lot of parts that suck. But when I talk to married women, they're like, yeah, wedding planning sucks. So I'm like, okay, that was me being naive.
Yeah. Actually, I could have told you that even.
I know, but I was just like, no, it's not going to happen to me. So that's interesting. And then now being about 6 months out from my wedding, it's extremely real now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be like legally tied to a man.
So can you so you talked about like engagement and fireworks.
Yes.
What are the other complex feelings you're feeling?
I mean, as someone who's never defined myself by my relationship, all of a sudden there's like a physical marker on me.
Yeah.
That says that I'm in a relationship. And it's weird.
And a lot of your life is actually like wedding planning.
Yes.
Your life is oriented towards your relationship right now.
Yeah. Yes.
Probably disproportionately from what it was before.
Absolutely disproportionately to how it was before and how I think about myself.
Yeah.
So it's really odd. Like, my identity is not my relationship.
Yeah.
And now every fucking spare second is dedicated to doing some random shit for my relationship. And I'm like, what? I want to be working on my podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would say going back to being engaged, it's just like, first off, it took me a long, well, I'll even go back further. I feel like it took me a long time to say the word boyfriend because I thought that was a cringy word to say. And my boyfriend.
My boyfriend.
My boyfriend and my girlfriend. Like, you know, it just sounds juvenile.
Yeah.
And then fiance is also fucking weird to say.
I love fiance. Boyfriend, I don't like. Like,
fiance to me sounds pretentious as fuck. I'm like, fiance. You know, I feel like I'm like, the connotation in my head is like flexing on someone if I'm like fiance. And I'm like, I don't want to use this stupid French word, but unfortunately that's the only way to talk about it.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just want to be like, Danny also likes Cap and Crunch. But if I don't want to say Danny, I have to say my fiance. Like, and I'm like, that's stupid. I don't like that. You know what I mean? It's like, why am I saying this French word right now?
Yeah, my fiancé.
Yeah.
Likes Captain Crunch.
I don't know if Danny's ever eaten Captain Crunch in front of me, but
to be honest, he seems like he would eat Captain Crunch.
Right, exactly. But that's just like the weirdness, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, typically people spend 1 year like planning their wedding. So you only say this like weird title for your partner for 1 year. It'll probably be almost 2 years for us, year and a half.
Okay.
Year and 3/4, whatever.
If you're counting.
Not a woman in STEM. And I think that, so it's already like, I'm just now starting to get used to saying fiance a little bit more. I'll like couch it and saying my partner, which is also weird. But now I'm going to fucking have a husband. So let's change the word again.
My husband. That's intense. I as you're talking, I'm like picturing myself
right
in this transition. And I also think I would feel some sort of way about it.
Yeah.
Like my
boyfriend is cringe.
It's crazy.
Fiance is worse.
Well, I'm going to be fucking
And
40.
husband.
I mean fucking 40 saying boyfriend, so shut up.
But and then now I'm a fucking wife. As someone who never wanted to be a wife, that's so weird. It's very weird.
Yeah.
It's like I see your piano over there, and so this is the metaphor I'm gonna make. It's like you never thought you were gonna be a piano player, and now you're a pianist.
Yeah.
You're like, huh? When the fuck did this happen?
It's
very odd.
What do you think that does to your identity? Like, there's Carmen, Miss Independent, boys will ruin your life, and then there's like my husband.
Well, that's what it's like.
Yeah, like
it's like I'm Carmen, Miss Independent. Not define my relationship. Will never be defined by my relationship.
Yeah.
And then like last night as we were like putting the guest list together, is like actively I'm like, so not tied to societal rules. There's like a way to like do formal invitation addressing, and it's like Mr. and Mrs. Jane Doe, whatever the fuck. It's not Jane, it's Joe. Joe Doe. It's Mr. and Mrs. male name.
Yeah, it's not a.
But I don't think that's cool.
No,
I don't like when people's identities are erased and they're defined.
Well,
by the
first of all, that's
relationship.
disgusting. That's
that's
annoying.
The default.
Yeah.
And then I like had the second thought, which was like, oh, I'm gonna be a Mrs. Danny Case. That's not who I am.
No, he's gonna be a Mr. Carmencio. That's how I see this.
Exactly. But it's just weird,
Yeah.
right? Like, and then there are a lot of women who are like, oh, are you changing? A lot of people are asking me, are you changing my last name? And I'm like, fuck no.
Yeah, let's talk about that. The changing of the last name in modern time. What are your thoughts? Well, you said fuck no, but like, let's continue.
The thought is
boo. Why are we doing that?
Misha.
Why are we doing? It's a lot of
the number
paperwork.
of times people keep asking me also, which is so bizarre. I'm like, why would I be a white person's last name?
Carmen Case. I'll be honest. That
No,
does.
stop.
Okay,
stop.
fine.
I've heard that a lot, and I'm shutting it down.
It does have a really good ring to it, but
It's not about that.
it's not.
It's about the woman that I've been for 32 years, and now all of a sudden I have
your
a
name has to
different
change.
Fucking name.
I actually
Why?
have very strong opinions about this as well.
Yeah.
I think it's diabolical.
Yeah.
To literally expect someone to change their fucking name. That's crazy.
And just because we did it yesterday does not mean we need to do it today.
No, we did it when women
Because
were literal property.
Exactly.
That's the tradition.
Exactly. And I'm just like, that's wild. So I don't know if this is all Asian families, but in my Asian family, none of the women ever changed their last name when they got married.
Mm-hmm.
My mom never changed it.
This
Guess
is-
what?
yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah, this is Asian.
I was never confused about who my mom was.
Yeah. Like people were like, I need my child to have the same last name. It's
Why?
like, I know
We're
you're my
on
mom.
a floating rock. My name could be Cup Mike.
Yeah, Carmen Chubbawonga,
I like that name.
which is her actual name.
My legal name is Carva Chugawonka. And Misha Chabalunky. Carmen Chabalunka and Misha Chabalunky.
And we're married.
Exactly. It's just like names are fake.
Yeah. But also, like, I was given that fake name 35 years ago,
Yeah.
and now you want me to just change it to a new fake name?
It's so stupid. There's just like so many little microaggressions that I'm experiencing as an engaged woman, of like people kind of subtly erasing your identity because of you're married, and then like women are like, ugh, it took so much paperwork to change your last name. I'm like, nobody held a gun to your head and said, change your last name, girl. You can actually not change your last name.
If to complain about changing your last name is insane to me, because I'm like, you literally didn't have to do that.
That's how I feel. And then it's like I have to have fake. I don't know them that well, so I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds hard. Why'd you do it?
Yeah. I don't like, look, do whatever you, if you like your husband's last name, do whatever the fuck you want. But I think the default of like feeling pressure to do it and then complaining, like, I think this, like, you don't, the
you
fact
don't get
that
to
that's
like eat your cake and have it too.
the fact that you have a social, like the social expectation around changing the name, I think is crazy. And in fairness, I think a lot of men still have this very strong feeling around changing last names. And
yes,
I'm like,
but guess what? If you're like, hey man, change your last name to the woman's last name, why do you get to have a visceral reaction against that?
yeah, like
double fucking standard,
and
patriarchal bullshit.
right. And the same man that wants you to change your last name is not going to fucking help you with the paperwork. Like, you're going to take on the labor of doing the thing he wanted you to do.
Of course.
That's gross.
So
That's
anyway,
annoying.
that's just what it's like to be
No.
an extremely independent woman going through this whole year
And
and a
I
half.
fear-
It's very weird.
I fear I will have the same feelings.
Good. And I'll be like, thank God I feel validated, because it's just weird. And like, I mean, there's so much basic shit with getting married that just like does not align with my values.
Yeah. As a non-basic person.
As a really non-basic woman, like, just like, first off, the fonts, all the bridal fonts are so ugly. The rose gold of it all, like, it's ugly bullshit. It's all ugly shit. And I'm like, we're just like, I feel like we're all looking at this thing pretending it looks nice, but it's actually ugly.
Yeah.
And I'm like it's like Emperor's new clothes. I'm the only one that's like, the Emperor's naked. And everyone's like, it looks great. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So there's all that. And then like the fucking like wifey hubby terminology of it all. And I'm like, yikes.
Yeah. Like, you can make weddings very cheesy.
I think most weddings are very
Yeah.
cheesy.
The default is cheese.
The default is cheese.
Cheese.
Like brie and Gouda
Yeah.
and mozzarella. They're all there.
And she is lactose intolerant.
And she's
Ladies and
lactose
gentlemen.
intolerant 'cause I'm an Asian woman. Yeah, it's just very odd. And then like the existential weirdness of like being someone's wife. Why am I someone's anything?
You will become Danny's property on August 8th.
He's gonna become my property.
No,
Let's make
honestly,
that so fucking clear.
we all know who wears the pants. It's not Danny.
It's not fucking
Spoiler,
Danny.
it's not the not so silent investor.
So it's just like constant weirdness, and like people always want to know how your wedding planning's going. And I'm like, ask about my podcast.
Yeah.
PSA: if you ever get it in your head to ask me or Misha about our relationship status, flip it around, reverse it, Wicked Witch, and just say, "How's the podcast?
How's the podcast?"
Because that's what we'd rather. Be
That's what we
talking
want to
about.
talk about.
Like
Ugly boys, we don't want to talk about it.
changing my last name. No. Like
Unless it's a chugga-wunga.
Oh, no, let's just talk about Limbalunka. then I'm interested.
That's just changing your name to
Then
that.
I'm interested. But it's just like, that's what it is. It's like lots of weirdness around it. And also it's, then a lot of people on the other side are like, well, if you already live together, then that's like once the big wedding hubba blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. That's what it's called. Hubba blah, blah,
That's
blah.
our other last name option.
It's over. It's just the same as it was before. And like, it's just like a whole, I don't know. Getting married is weird. I just think it's weird. It's a weird experience to go through as someone who's not a woman who's centered women or men or marriage or whatever the
Yeah,
fuck.
and I think it goes back. It's just like the societal. It's like the emphasis we put on the wedding
Yeah.
and the marriage and like
Everyone
and the ring.
fucking relax.
It's other people's expectation of what it's supposed to be
Yes.
and feel like.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, I have a different relationship with it.
Right.
But you're not really allowed to have a different relationship
No.
with it. It's similar to being single. It's like everyone has a different relationship with it, but everyone
Absolutely.
enforces their own.
Yeah.
Like everyone feels like they have agency to comment on your
Yeah.
experience. And I think like relationships is a weird area of life where everyone feels like they
Totally.
get to just say whatever the fuck they want to
Yeah.
say all the time.
Can everyone relax?
Can everyone relax?
Can everyone chill? Like,
And remember that boys are smelly.
and that
That's the key takeaway.
usually my key takeaway is, why aren't we putting this energy towards Ted Cruz? But today the message is, let's remember all the centering men is like around men who smell bad,
Who smell bad.
who don't brush their teeth,
I want you to remember, if you're single and listening to this, I want you to remember the last man you talked to
and if they smelled.
and if they smelled. And the answer is yes.
And the answer is
The
they did.
answer is yes.
Also, I think we need to circle back to the concept of sleepyheads because we didn't talk enough about this.
We didn't.
Let's talk about it.
Kick us off because
I would love to. Okay, there is an epidemic in this world, and it is related tangentially to relationships, and it's also just happening.
Mm-hmm.
And that everyone has become a sleepyhead. And I need everyone to do cocaine. Stop being a sleepyhead.
Okay, and I think
that's
okay. Let's work with this. Okay. I will echo. Well, it's interesting because this kind of goes back to our earlier conversation of like we are in an era of our lives where everyone is diverging. Like your 30s, people diverge a lot.
Yes.
So we have half of the people in their 30s who are like absolute on the hedonic hamster wheel, right? They're like, I mean, we're seeing that people are throwing parties I literally, Carmen and I, like every day this week besides Thursday have social plans.
Uh-huh.
That's
just my entire month.
That's crazy.
And
yeah.
last month.
And that's been what's going on. so that's one end of the spectrum. Then we have like the other end of the spectrum of people like not leaving their homes and being sleepyheads. Also, we're in a loneliness epidemic. And I know it's male loneliness, but women are becoming lonelier as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So like stop doing that.
Just stop.
Just
stop.
I think this is also like as I get older and like even just turning 35, right? That's like a milestone birthday.
Yep.
I've been thinking a lot about like it's just like I hear a lot of messaging with my friends that are around my age or even a little bit older that like talk about getting like like that kind of use terminology about how they're old now.
Ugh.
And this is where I get annoyed because I'm like
so glad you're bringing this up.
35.
I hate this.
I feel like a spring chicken personally. Like, okay, fine. Do I bloat a little bit more? Kind of. I have a little bit more acid reflux.
Do we find a little bit more gray hair in our hair? Yeah.
Yeah. But like,
I'm not old.
I'm not old, and I don't feel old.
I hate this narrative.
I hate it.
So happy we're talking about.
I hate it, and I think that's part of it. It's kind of like it's like a circle, right? It's like the more you're a sleepyhead, the more you stay sleepy and lethargic, and then the older you feel, so then you want to stay in. It's like
your house.
Leave your house. It's all, and it's about social connection. Like, you need to leave your house and maintain your relationships.
Yes.
Because that will give
outside
you
of
energy.
your stinky husband.
Outside of your stinky husband. Because that will give you energy.
Yeah.
You feel fucking old because you're acting old, but you're not old.
Right. Look, like millennials are aging so beautifully in our faces because we didn't smoke and we didn't do Botox at age 12.
Yeah.
Like, we've got a lot going for us, and we all look really young compared to generations before and after us. So like act like it.
Act like it. I
go out of your house and
boring,
like don't
boring and sleepy is like, I even say this like circling back to dating. I would rather date a guy who's kind of mean than a guy who's boring. Like, I'm not even joking.
That's so real.
Because like when I reflect on my dates from last year, like 9 times out of 10 the reason I didn't like the person was boring. They were perfectly nice guys, committal men, ready for love, but like boring as fuck. And I'm like the way like you were talking about people sitting across from each other eating dinner and not saying anything. I was like, that was happening on date number 2.
Oh,
with
my
a lot,
God.
and I was like carrying the conversation, and I was like, I am so tired from how much I'm literally carrying the weight of you.
Yeah.
And part of it is like they were sleepyheads.
What is with this? What is the sleepyhead epidemic? Because why are we doing this? I think that I will say probably a lot of this came from COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Just like remnants of the trauma and like being in your house all the time.
Yeah.
And then you like, we cut off the riff-raff friends. So now you're not getting invited to house parties. All that shit is real and true. But now we're in 2026.
COVID's
and the
done.
particles are partifiling.
Yeah, COVID's done.
So what's the sleepyhead
I think it's like
epidemic?
people don't want to be silly.
Oh.
People don't want to be silly. Like,
yes.
Because it's like,
be silly.
Be silly.
It's
like,
fun.
Yeah. Go out and like go to the people like I did karaoke for my birthday.
Yes.
People don't want to have the mic and sing. No one fucking sing in the mic. Be bad.
It's karaoke.
No one cares.
Karaoke. Like it's
Karaoke.
like, yeah, I think it's like people are scared to be silly.
People are
like
and silly keeps you young.
Silly does keep you young.
Silly
That's
is-
why I look 10.
Silly is spiritual Botox.
Ooh,
You heard it here first. You
I'm
heard it here
fucking
first.
that.
Yeah, it's true. Like that's I think what keeps people young
love.
is like silly people stay young.
Silly people just stay young because we are out here doing silly things.
We're being silly.
We are dancing in the snow blizzards, spinning around with our friends, cackling, like not letting like. I mean, yeah, I get it. I live in fucking Chicago, and winters can be depressing, but we've turned a corner. We are done with 4 p.m. sunsets.
Yeah.
Today was 4:30 and it was still light out. And I was like, ooh.
And also, you can go outside when the sun's
You
not
also
out.
can just go outside when
I
it's
don't know
dark.
if no one told you that.
You can just go.
You can just go out
You
and be
can
silly.
just go. And
You can
also,
be silly with the sun, silly with the moon.
period. And silly with the stars.
Silly with the stars.
The asteroids, the meteors, the stars, the planets. You can be silly with all of them.
Silly all the time with
Silly,
every
silly,
planet.
silly. Yeah, I think, it's like, you're trapped. You're trapped.
Yeah.
I want to yell at these people, like, you're trapped. Like, be silly. Like, engage with your friends. Don't be all, like, sleepyhead, grumpy, McGrump-grumps.
Yeah. I think it's just like I've never had that energy.
Carmen, sleepyhead, McGrump-grumps, LaDonna Blah, or whatever.
LaDonna Blah is her new legal name.
I want to change my last name to that. I'll do the paperwork for that. It's just like, yeah, go be silly. Because I think about, like, I've seen the drop-off. And I think, okay, let's be serious for a minute. Like, economically depressing.
Yeah.
Politically depressing. Work depressing. There's all these
There's
factors.
a lot of, yeah.
And you do have to actively fight against that to be silly.
I
And
agreed.
this goes back to an earlier point, which is eat food. Because when you're eating, you are fueling your brain to, like, resist the depression. Resist.
Eating is a political movement. It's a political statement.
It is resistance, genuinely.
It actually is, especially for women.
Especially for women.
Eating is resistance.
Because then your brain gets to, like, have a little silly fun.
Yeah.
Because it has the energy to
It has
be
the
silly
energy.
fun.
And physically you have energy to not sit on your couch.
Exactly.
It's actually science.
And also, like, with myself, I see it happen where, like, I go to the office and I come home and I'm depleted.
Yeah.
And my friends want to go do some shit. And it's so easy to cancel.
It is.
In the age of canceling. Being
In cancel culture.
In cancel culture, it's so easy to just, like, not go.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate the friends that are like, you're going to fucking go.
Yeah.
Like, get off your couch. Because sometimes I need to hear that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I need to be yelled at a little. And be
Yeah.
like, get the
We all
fuck
do.
off
Look,
your
we all want
couch.
to, especially in the winter. We all want to do that.
Of course.
But what was that like? There was like a TikTok that was like the cost of like
Something about your village.
yeah,
whatever.
it's like I think I'm combining two things right now, but I'm gonna go with it. It's
Yeah,
like
okay.
it's like the cost of like a community is inconvenience.
Ooh.
That's actually what it is, and it's
Succinct.
like I think the thing is like people. It's like people feel lonely and bored. Which I have a lot of friends that are my age that are like saying like oh they're like that will comment on like I'm very social and they're not. Like they'll comment on like
totally.
how I'm always
They're
out.
like, wow, you have so many friends.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I say
I make
yes
an
to
effort.
a lot of shit.
Yeah, and I
I'm
make an
also-
effort.
Yes.
Like
And I am responding to texts.
I'm responding to texts. I'm going out.
I don't flake.
I
well,
never flake.
She doesn't flake.
I'm
I
a-
sometimes flake, but that's because I've got invited to too many things.
I also wouldn't describe you as a flaky person.
Okay, thank you.
I say you
Thank you.
like you
Thank you.
show up to things.
I am out
Flaking
of my
to me,
house.
flaking to me is last minute cancellations and
Okay.
sitting at home doing nothing as opposed to doing something.
Okay.
That's flaky.
Usually I'm saying no because I have something else.
Yeah,
that I'm out on
that's
the
which
streets
is
for.
not flaky.
Thank you.
So in my mind, like, but
My particle called me flaky, and it's like end of year review, and it's been like in my head.
okay,
That's a different tangent. Anyway.
okay. Well, we'll discuss that in the after hours. But yeah, like, I think it's like. I feel because I think it's hard to make friends in your 30s. I think that's where like meeting new people becomes hard, and it's like it's hard because you're not.
Yeah, I'm
You have
also
to make
like,
an effort.
I'm always also like, there's opportunities for friends
Also,
everywhere.
the amount of friends,
And unfortunately,
yeah.
I'm picking up friends at every instance.
I was gonna
and
say-
I kind of need to stop.
I've actually made more. I feel like I've made more friends in my 30s than my 20s.
yeah, I kinda
like,
feel the
That-
same.
but I think part of it is it goes back to like effort, like you
Yes.
like
And
inconvenience.
silliness.
Yeah, it's like you need
Talk
to,
to the stranger.
right. You need to be able to inconvenience yourself, and like when you want to cancel,
Yeah.
like don't, and then go out and and actually hang out with people.
Right.
But also, it's,
And also, don't leave early. I'm mad about this because as someone who's constantly hosting things, and I love to do it, I don't like when people fucking leave my events earlier than the stated time to leave.
as someone who's rotting to the bitter end, I don't know what leaving early means.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? Where are you going?
You're going home to be sad.
You have no other plans because you
I
don't have any
actually-
friends.
It really annoys me when people leave an event early and they're like, well, I just gotta go. I'm like, where?
First of all, every person at my birthday who left early is that their name is branded in my brain.
It's on site.
Yeah, I will never forget the people that
Oh,
left my
absolutely.
pregame and didn't go to karaoke. I didn't forget.
Period. And you shouldn't.
The friendship changed.
The friendship changes. And I don't forget the people that left all my events early.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say them because you'll know who it is. It just annoys the fuck out of me. I'm like, when I have said yes and I'm there, we're locked in.
Yeah.
We are spending the rest of the night together, the day, whatever it is.
Because
like,
here's my thing. It's not, when we say like, you need to show up for your friends. Showing up is physically being at the event.
Yes.
It's also showing up with gumption.
and participate.
With
energy.
If you show up with your arms crossed in the corner, you didn't show up.
No.
You need to show, and look, I get some people are wallflowers, some people are extroverts, but like show up in the way that is, works for you.
Be fun.
But show up. Try.
Just try.
Just
Sing
try.
one song.
Sing one song.
Like, if you, okay, now we're putting some people on blast, and I think you deserve it. If you left the pregame and went to your house, what did you do at your house that was more fun than singing Britney Spears at Misha's karaoke?
I can answer, and the answer was nothing.
Exactly.
You went home and read a book, and you're fucking boring.
And don't give me the excuse of, I'm old. We're older than we were because that's how time works.
I was the oldest person at my birthday. Like, there was like 5 people in the room that were older than me. Everyone else was younger. I was the oldest bitch there.
And she's fucking chugging Grey Goose from the
And
bottle.
guess what?
So, like,
I went to bed at 5 a.m. that night.
Exactly.
Because I had people over, Katie Wilcox, Mallory, the two of
Hello.
you. We ordered McDonald's.
Yes.
And we girl talked.
Yes.
Until 5 a.m. I don't want to fucking hear that you couldn't make it out. Karaoke started at 9 p.m. Just to clarify time for everybody.
The timeline.
The timeline. People couldn't go out at 9 p.m.
I hate that so much.
No. And the friendships have changed.
Of course.
It's annoying.
It's annoying.
Here's the thing.
Why are you going home already?
And I also think you are the company you keep. And I refuse to be old and boring.
Right.
I refuse that
Cut
life.
that shit
So,
off.
like, if you're old and boring, you're at a distance.
Yes, I completely agree.
You have to be at a distance.
Like,
you need to be fun.
I know that we all have busy lives. We have busy as fuck lives.
Also, if you're going home early, you don't have a busy life. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Like, leaving the event early for what? Because you felt a little uncomfortable? Okay, another thing millennials need to do is they need to drink more.
We used to be the drink. I read somewhere like a stat, like we were the number one drinking like generation.
Yeah, right.
What the fuck happened?
Guys,
Some of y'all need to drink more.
Usher and Lil Jon and Soulja Boy didn't make all those fucking bops and jams and bangers for you to not drink anymore.
We have the best millennial bops.
We do, and you can listen to it sober.
It is the pipe. Millennials were the funnest culture. Like, what happened to us?
COVID.
Well, some of us are still cool, so I'm not saying us.
I don't know.
I'm not able to identify with this.
But I think sometimes it's like tying back to like being silly and letting loose. Like, just be silly and let loose. What's the worst that could happen?
It's the worst that could
You
happen.
puke on a sidewalk. We've all been there. You haven't done that? You haven't lived.
Yeah.
Don't you want to live?
The sidewalk was meant for puking on. That's why they built it.
Exactly. I really hope that, you listen to this whole episode and you're really going to take some nuggets and change your life.
We talked a lot and said weird things, but I hope this helped.
Hope this helps.
Hope this helped.
But genuinely, because this is like, some people really need to hear these messages. Let's do like a quick.
Let's do a recap.
Quick recap. Well, I'm just gonna say some stuff.
Say random shit. And I'm gonna join.
Okay. Eat. You need to eat. You need to eat because it fuels your brain, and then you can do some analysis on your boring boyfriend sitting by you on the couch and realize you don't want to sit by him on the couch for the rest of your life, and you need to break up.
We're canceling skinny culture. We're canceling smelly boys.
Done.
Canceled.
Done. 2, don't ask women about their relationships.
It's boring and annoying.
We have so
boring and annoying.
much more going for us. And also, Misha and I want to be asked about our podcast more.
The key takeaway is you guys aren't as
You guys
interested
are
as
not
we
asking
need
us
you
about
to
the pod.
be.
Yeah. And I know all of you want to be on the pod, but part of a prerequisite of being on the pod is you need to be locked into the pod.
You know what? The people that can be on the pod are the ones that have listened up until this point.
Exactly.
And the way we're gonna know is you have to say the magic keyword, and the keyword is broccoli. If you can't say broccoli to me, You're not on the fucking pot. That means you didn't listen to
you just
an
wanna
hour and a half
fucking
in.
hold a mic and talk. Okay, rent a karaoke room.
Yeah. Also, you don't have anything interesting to say. You're not coming on the pod.
Yeah, broccoli. That's not broccoli. Sad girl content on TikTok needs to die.
Needs to die. Stop ruminating. Cry on your own, but like you got 5 minutes, move on.
Yes.
Move on after that.
You can't just like self-indulge. And that's
The solution does not lie in the problem.
what she said. She's the doctor, not me. Another key takeaway is that getting married is weird.
Just don't change your last name unless you want to. But then don't complain about the paperwork. That was another takeaway. You're allowed to change your last name, but you're not allowed to talk about the paperwork.
Don't talk about how hard it is, because you didn't have to do that, actually. You could have made a different choice. And in conclusion, sleepyheads suck. That's really
In conclusion, if you left my party early,
you suck.
thank you for listening to the Luteal Face podcast.
If you love this episode, give us a follow, comment, buy some merch, and share with your hottie of the week.
Episodes drop every other week, so stay tuned for the next installment of the Luteal Face podcast.
Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Luteal Face Pod. Bye!